Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger from sacredsoulempowerment.com. Here to do your weekly intuitive card reading for Monday, November 23rd through Sunday, November 29th, 2020. For this week's weekly reading, we'll be using the Yin Yang Oracle cards by Stellara for the main message for everyone. We also have a special message card back here for everyone from the Black Moon Astrology cards by Susan Shepard. And your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, will also be coming from the Black Moon Astrology cards by Susan Shepard. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at your stones of choice. Now this week, I have special intention pendants to show you. These are brand new. I've recently wrapped them along with a lot of other ones. And they are not yet infused with Reiki or special intentions or Archangel or Ascended Master energy like I will be doing. So I will give you the description and the meaning of the stone or crystal itself for you to make your choice. This is purple and green fluorite. I don't know how well you can see in this lighting, but of course we have the beautiful green part of the fluorite. We have the purple part of the fluorite infused throughout this crystal. And the green and purple fluorite is used to harmonize spiritual energies within and outside of you. It helps to link your mind to universal consciousness, and it helps to increase your psychic abilities. Of course, the green part of the stone relates to the heart chakra, clearing and balancing that heart chakra, healing emotional wounds. And the purple part, of course, relates to the crown chakra, opening you up to universal wisdom and knowledge. Your next stone of choice, or special intention pendant of choice, is this beautiful labradorite pendant. You can see the sheen there with this labradorite when I kind of tilt it. I love labradorite. And this is considered one of the most powerful protector stones. It's a stone of transformation. It helps to strengthen one's will, and it also promotes increasing your psychic abilities. This would be a good grounding stone, so it could relate to the root chakra for grounding, but it also relates to the crown chakra for, again, that connection to the higher universal mind to receive messages from the higher realms. And then your last stone of choice is this beautiful sunrise sunset chrysocolla, also called Sonora Sunrise or Sonora Sunset chrysocolla. So this actually, the blue part is chrysocolla. There is a stone by itself called chrysocolla, which is that beautiful blue. The red in the Sonora Sunrise or the Sunrise Sunset chrysocolla is actually cuprite. So this is a stone of empowerment. It helps to infuse freedom into the life of the soul. It helps to bestow passion to the soul in order to handle life more assertively. And it also provides one with new hope. So again, your stones of choice here for this week are the green and purple fluorite, the labradorite, or the Sonora Sunrise Sunset chrysocolla. So let's talk about the astrology for the week. I can't believe we're almost at the end of November. This week's weekly reading takes us all the way to November 29th, and a little heads up is that as we approach the end of the week, we're approaching a full moon lunar eclipse. And that full moon lunar eclipse is technically on early Monday morning, but it's so early Monday morning Eastern time that I decided to include it as we get towards Sunday the 29th. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to pull a special message card for everyone from the Black Moon Astrology cards, because of that full moon lunar eclipse that we're approaching. But as we start out the week on Monday the 23rd, we have Mercury, the planet that rules the mind. It rules our thoughts, our ideas, our communications. It's currently in the sign of Scorpio, so it's very deeply intuitive, it's very deeply empathic, it's very deeply passionate with its thoughts and perceptions and communication style. This is somebody that if they had Mercury and Scorpio in their chart would be very telepathic. So the fact that we have now Mercury and Scorpio, it allows us to be a little bit more telepathic, a little bit more psychic, definitely a little bit more clairsentient with being able to feel energy vibrations within another person or in the environment around us. And on Monday the 23rd, Mercury in Scorpio is going to be in a positive connection to Neptune in Pisces. Now, Neptune rules the spiritual realm. Neptune rules things that are intangible or not easily seen. Neptune rules illusion, confusion, and delusion, but this is a positive aspect, so we're going to go more with the positive side of Neptune, which is this very creative, artistic, unconditionally loving, compassionate, spiritual energy in its home sign of Pisces. Neptune normally rules Pisces. So we have Neptune in water sign Pisces, very psychic, very intuitive, and it's connecting positively to Mercury, planet of the mind, in Scorpio, another water sign. So this really heightens our intuition, psychic abilities, and healing abilities around that time. This is a very creative aspect too. If you're someone who's writing a book, or you're writing a blog, or you're updating your website, for instance, or any form of communication, whether it's through writing or whether it's through speaking, this is very creative and artistic, and it's like having a clear flowing channel of information. As we skip to Wednesday the 25th, we have Venus also in Scorpio. Both Mercury and Venus are in Scorpio at this time. Venus rules love, partnerships, money, finances, personal resources, our values, and how we value ourselves. So it's our sense of self-worth. And Scorpio is a very powerful sign. So Scorpio can deal with disempowering energies or empowering energies. So Venus, being the ruler of the divine feminine, I want to say just in general that while she's in Scorpio, this is about the divine feminine taking back her power, owning her power. And it's also about merging with her passion, because Venus, again, loves things of beauty. Venus is about beauty and harmony and, again, relationships. And in Scorpio, it becomes much more passionate, whether that means sexually passionate or just passionate about life and about what she's doing. And on Wednesday, Venus in Scorpio is going to be in what we call an inconjunct aspect to Chiron, the wounded healer, who is in Aries, sign of the self. So what I want to say here with an inconjunct is that we need to adjust something. We need to adjust our energies when we have an inconjunct. So with Venus in an inconjunct to Chiron, we need to adjust our sense of self-worth and our sense of self-empowerment in regards to these Chiron wounds of the self and self-identity and self-confidence, self-assertion. And so this is a great time to kind of, again, take your power back and really do some healing on your sense of self. On Thursday the 26th, we have the Sun, which is now in Sagittarius. So the Sun in Sagittarius is very inspirational, very optimistic, happy-go-lucky. It's the sign of good luck. It's the sign of philosophy and higher education and higher vision, seeing the big picture. And on Thursday, the Sun in Sagittarius is in a trine aspect to Chiron. The trine is a positive aspect. So on Wednesday, we had Venus in kind of a weird inconjunct to Chiron, needing her to take her power back to do some healing. On Thursday, the Sun is in a positive connection to Chiron. Now, Chiron still is about our past life wounds, where we feel wounded, but it's a positive connection here. So I feel like the Sun is highlighting how we're healing our identity, how we're healing our sense of self, how we're healing our sense of independence or self-confidence or self-assertion. So I feel like Thursday can be a very positive day for all of that. On Friday the 27th, Mercury in Scorpio is in a connection to Pluto. It's in a sextile connection to Pluto. Sextiles are aspects of opportunity. And so there's an opportunity here for transformation, regeneration, an energy of death and rebirth, some sort of a transitional energy here in regards to our thoughts, our ideas, are ways of communicating both within ourselves and our own psyche with Mercury and Scorpio, as well as with other people. The sextile just means there's an opportunity at hand, and if we don't look for it, or if we aren't aware of the opportunity can pass us by. But this is a great opportunity to kind of dig deeper, to understand things at a deeper level within our own psyche, to really empower ourselves through our words, thoughts, communications, and to really perceive and have more of awareness of where our shadow side stuff is. On the same day, we have Venus in Scorpio, and she's now opposing Uranus in Taurus. Now, Uranus is known as the Great Awakener. Uranus is about quick, sudden, unexpected, freedom energies, redirection energies. It can bring in the strange and unusual. It rules the God mind, so it has that connection to higher universal energies. Now, Venus in Scorpio. Scorpio is a money sign. Uranus is in Taurus. Taurus is a money sign. So this could actually bring about something to do with money and finances, and it's probably something unexpected. Now, whether this is money going out that we didn't expect, or some sort of money coming in, or some surprise gift of some sort, Uranus, again, brings things all of a sudden. Usually we don't expect it. It can be kind of like a positive surprise energy, or it can be an energy where we didn't see it coming and it kind of blindsides us. And so you never know what you're going to get with Uranus. But this is also, it could also have to do with relationships, because Venus rules relationships and partnerships. So it's just a matter of how it's playing out in your chart and in your life. On Saturday the 28th, Neptune, the planet of the spiritual realm, the planet of illusion, confusion, and delusion, is going to direct motion at 18 degrees of Pisces. It's been retrograde for a few months now. And so because it's retrograde or direct at any moment in time for, quite a few months, we don't really feel it all that much unless it's starting to station, or unless it, of course, it connects with another planet, like earlier in the week on Monday when it connected with Mercury. But just by itself, because it's so slow moving, we're going to only feel it when it's either stopping to turn retrograde or it's stopping to turn back to direct motion. And this is Neptune stopping, if you will, slowing down to turn back to direct motion on Saturday the 28th. So this means that all of this week, and probably even before this week, probably the week previous, we were already starting to feel this. But especially this week, as it's slowing down, we're starting to feel the energies of Neptune. The Neptunian energies are intensifying. So everything that Neptune rules is starting to become more apparent. It rules dreams in our dream time. It rules spirituality and meditation and psychic and intuitive and healing abilities. It rules our kind of creative, artistic, spiritual abilities. It rules illusion, confusion, delusion. It rules lack of clarity, which is another way to say confusion. So when it's slowing down, and this can also affect us physically too, so you might be feeling a little bit more floaty, a little less grounded than normal, but you could also be feeling more creative, or more spiritually in tune or connected, or more psychic or intuitive, or the energies of healing are really flowing through you. This can also mean that you're more sensitive and susceptible to things like drugs or alcohol or foods or medicines, things of that nature. So anything that you're taking in your body or putting on your body even, you might become more sensitive to it. So you just want to be aware of that. Also on Saturday the 28th, Mercury in Scorpio is in a sextile to Jupiter. So now here's another opportunity. This opportunity is to see the bigger picture of what's going on within your mind, because Mercury rules the mind, and usually it's the lower mental body. Jupiter rules kind of that higher mental body, our belief systems, the big picture, the expanded view of how we're seeing things or believing in things. It's our philosophies. So this gives us an opportunity to kind of see a bigger picture, understand from a bigger perspective what's going on within our own mind, our thoughts, our perceptions. On Sunday the 29th, this is where we're leading up to a full moon lunar eclipse, although it doesn't happen on Sunday. It happens, as I said, early Monday morning. Of course, it depends on what part of the world you're in, right? So if you are in, let's say you're in Hawaii, you know, because all these things are according to Eastern time, the Eastern time zone where I'm at. So in Hawaii, actually, the full moon lunar eclipse does occur very late on Sunday. But as we get into the Pacific, the mountain time, the central time, the Eastern time, as we move into Europe and Africa and Australia, we're looking at going into Monday before this full moon lunar eclipse hits. Now, before the full moon lunar eclipse energies start to increase, we have the sun in Sagittarius, and this is on Sunday, the 29th, in conjunct to Uranus in Taurus. Now remember, Uranus brings that sudden, unexpected redirection or freedom energies or energies of progressive movement or the unexpected happening. And the sun in Sagittarius is very inspirational, very, I want to say creative in maybe a different sort of way. You know, different than, say, Neptune. Neptune's creativity is very artistic and flowing. Sagittarius creativity is very passionate and full of fire and energy and zest and zeal. And the sun in Sagittarius is already a high kind of energy, you know, fire for Sagittarius. And fire is high energy. In conjuncting Uranus, we might see something where we need to adjust our belief systems, adjust our judgments, adjust how we're like judging other people or a situation, or we may need to adjust our enthusiasm or inspirational energy, because things I feel like with Uranus are really kind of being channeled. I feel like we can be a real open channel to a lot of higher vibrational energies, which may throw us a little off balance on that day. And again, we're building up to a full moon, and not just any full moon. It's a lunar eclipse, which is really starting to heighten the energies as it is. So we're going to be feeling that. That full moon happens on Monday the 30th, at 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. And it will be at 8 degrees of Gemini, meaning the moon will be 8 degrees Gemini, the sun will be 8 degrees of Sagittarius. So we'll start out next week's reading by revisiting that full moon lunar eclipse, but I did want to let you know that that is definitely coming up, and you're definitely going to be feeling it through this weekend as it starts to build. Let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides and see what they have to say for this week. Okay, the first card, it says, until debt tear us apart. It says contracts, career, commitments. And at the bottom here, you'll see that it says Saturn. Now, Saturn is the Lord of Karma, and Saturn deals with karmic contracts. Saturn does deal with responsibility and commitments. So it's interesting here when it says until debt tear us apart. I feel, you know, that feels very, it feels like something that a lot of us out there, maybe over these past few months of 2020, that, you know, may have been our experience on some level. But because Saturn's down there, that listing of Saturn, I feel like this is about karmic debt, not necessarily monetary debt. Although, you know, that might be part of some of your experience too, is dealing with some of these career, you know, lacking in career, or career changes, or career being on the back burner, or, you know, reduced hours, things that have been happening in 2020 since COVID kind of came into our existence here. But this sounds like there could be something to do with karmic debt, karmic contracts. And it might be in regards to our career path, life path, or destiny path, things that we need to be responsible for. And part of what we need to be responsible for, which includes career, is our ability to make money and to create a sense of financial security for ourselves and our family. So this could definitely be speaking to some of that, financially speaking too. As I said, we have Mercury, the planet of the mind, in Scorpio, which is a money sign. We have Venus in the sign of Scorpio, and Venus does rule money and finances, and she's in Scorpio right now, which is about other people's money. And we've got Venus and Mercury, you know, happening a few times here throughout the week with different planets in different ways. And so we might have something here to where money is, of course, we're nearing the holidays too, right? Here in the United States, we got Thanksgiving coming up. We all have Christmas coming up here in the next month or so. So we might be really focused on financial security in some way, shape, or form, and what that's going to look like as we move out of 2020 and into 2021. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next card and see how that is followed up here. I feel like this is saying that, you know, too, how it says, until debt tear us apart. I feel like this is something that's weighing heavily in family systems, and, you know, with significant others. If you're in a marriage situation or a live-in situation or a family situation, and the financial situation has been heavy this year. So I feel like there is some, you know, either disagreements or some confusion or some fears or doubts or anxieties that may be causing some, if you want to call it, karmic upset, since we have that whole word of that karmic debt with Saturn going on. Let's take a look at the next card and see what else we have to look for. And we have, this is regret and repression. I'm feeling more drawn to the word repression here, and we have a shadowed figure. And again, we have a lot of Scorpio energy. You know, the sun just came out of Scorpio not too long ago, but again, we still have Mercury and Venus in Scorpio. And that, you know, sometimes can be about our shadow sides. That can be about our fears, our anxieties, our doubts, you know, the lower vibrational thoughts, belief systems that we have within ourselves. And I feel like this word repression, that a lot of that Scorpio energy, the shadow side of the ego, you know, the shadow side of our psyche and our perceptions or beliefs, etc., I feel like has been repressed. And what I'm feeling, since it's following up the Saturn and the karmic debt, is that it's been kind of a karmic pattern for some of us, certain thoughts or belief systems or certain circumstances or situations. It's been, you know, some karmic patterns that we've been carrying here. And I feel like a lot of this energy has been repressed within ourselves. But you can see that there's light in the background. This person is still shadowed, but the sky, if you want to call it the sky around him, is lit up. It's golden yellow, it's bright, and it will shine light upon these dark shadow areas. And I feel like with the sun in Sagittarius, and again with the positive connection to Chiron and Aries from the sun in Sagittarius, that it's going to start to shine the light upon the shadows within ourselves, shine the light upon these areas where we're feeling a lack of self-confidence or a lack of independence or a lack of take charge ability or a lack of our self-identity. And even some of these other connections with Uranus, you know, Uranus kind of awakens us. It kind of is this great awakener that likes to shake things up. And so I feel like it's just, you know, going to come in and kind of shake us up a little bit. And that full moon lunar eclipse as well is going to highlight, I think, some of the shadow stuff, some of the energies that have been repressed as of late, where we've been feeling a little down or a little doubtful. And let's look at the last card, because I'm hoping that it's a positive one. I'm hoping that it's something that just really highlights us and makes us feel all good inside. And it's called Third Eye Clarity. So I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory, right? I feel like we're going to start to gain some clarity here. We're using our third eye. And like I said, a lot of these connections with Mercury and Neptune and Mercury and Pluto and even Venus opposing Uranus, I mean, these are energies to where our psychic senses and our psychic abilities, our intuitive abilities, can really start to heighten. And again, even leading up to the full moon lunar eclipse is going to heighten our energies, heighten our emotional responses too, but it can also heighten our intuitions. So I feel like we're going to start to see things with clarity. I feel like this might have something to do too with Neptune stationing and getting ready to turn to direct motion. Because Neptune is the planet of illusion, right, and confusion, and it's at a standstill, which is kind of heightening those energies. But once it starts to move, and once other planets shift into other signs here in the next few weeks and whatnot, I feel like we'll be able to gain more clarity as far as our personal situations on a collective worldwide level, what decisions we may need to make for ourselves to move, on the next step of our paths. And so when I look at the image on this picture, too, realize that it's not what you necessarily see with your physical eyes. She's got her hand over one of her eyes, right? Although she's got that third eye on the back side of her hand. But it's not what we're seeing with our physical eyes. So when you look at your relationships, or you look at your situation in career or family or money, you look at the situation of the world. It's not necessarily what you see or perceive with your physical eyes. It's what you see and perceive on an intuitive third eye level, because what we might be seeing is not necessarily true reality. Sometimes there's things that are hidden that we don't see, and it doesn't come to light until later. Or sometimes, what we feel as a third dimensional human in this physical body, we feel like these things are real, but it's really just an illusion. Like they say, time and space and this reality is just an illusion. Now, I know we live in this reality, and so for us it's real, but we also have to understand what the higher vision is. What's the higher reality of why certain things occur the way they do or when they do. And I think that's part of what this third eye card is all about. So don't see with your physical eyes or just your physical eyes. See with your spiritual eyes as well. And that's going to help you to gain clarity as to what decisions to make, or how to redirect your life, or what to do next. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the special message card for everyone from the Black Moon astrology cards back here. So this is a message for everyone. We have Aquarius, and it says, I know. Now Aquarius, the key phrase for Aquarius is I know, because Aquarius energy has, well, let's just put it this way. The ruling planet for Aquarius is Uranus. And as I mentioned, Uranus is that planet of the God mind. It rules the higher God mind, or higher universal mind. And so that's why they say that the phrase for Aquarius is I know, because they're tapped in. They're tapped into this higher universal knowledge. They're able to kind of connect or link up with the higher universal mind, or the God mind, and channel higher information, higher wisdom, higher knowledge, messages from other realms of existence. So if this is a message for everyone, I want to say, with all of the connections we have this week, a couple of them do include Uranus itself, that we really need to start tuning in, whether it's through meditation or a quiet moment here or there, connecting, asking to be connected with your higher soul self, or asking to be connected to your angels and guides, or the universal intelligence, God, if you want, whatever you want to call that higher energy, and ask to be an open channel. Ask for, or meditate on, or visualize your crown chakra opening, and allowing that higher universal intelligence and the higher universal messages to flow through your crown chakra and into you. And look at all these beautiful colors here. And I think actually, well, we do have the planet Uranus up here. I don't know if this is an angel, but we have, a figure here that looks like a beautiful woman or a beautiful angel. There's another figure here connected to her as well, which could be a guide or an angel. And I just feel like that energy of Aquarius, that ability to just be claircognizant, that's something that Aquarians are good at, with just a clear knowing. That's their psychic ability. They just know something. That's why the phrase is I know. They just know something to be true. They don't know how they know it. They just know it. And that's claircognizance. That's our psychic gift of claircognizance. So that's something to tap into this week. Let's look at your special message card depending on your stone or your special intention pendant of choice. And I chose this deck again because of the full moon lunar eclipse that we have coming up, so I thought the astrological energy was appropriate for a message. All right, so for the people that chose the purple and green fluorite, purple and green fluorite people, special message. Whoa, well that one just flipped out. You saw that? Isn't that funny? It says Chiron. Chiron healing. So those of you that chose the green and purple fluorite, you're tapping into this Chiron past life wound. You're tapping into the Chiron shaman energies. Chiron is the wounded healer, but is also the shaman and the teacher. And so with tapping into Chiron, you're tapping into this healing of your inner soul, healing not just of this life and this life patterns, emotions, perceptions, but also healing of previous lifetimes. And since Chiron is in Aries right now, you know, it's in Aries for everybody. That's the transiting placement for Chiron. Now, you might have your Chiron somewhere else. But Chiron in Aries right now is asking us to heal wounds regarding the self. Now, it could be that your Chiron in your chart, wherever it is, whatever house it's in, whatever sign of the zodiac it's in, might be being connected by another planet right now, tipping off that Chiron wound for you. Either way, there's healing that is taking place for you right now. And it's funny that this particular card number is number 8. And the number 8 numerologically deals with empowerment, or your sense of power, or your own sense of inner authority. It does also relate to career, life path, destiny path, money, and finances, the number 8. So these are the areas where healing could be taking place for you. That's wonderful. Okay. Then for those of you that chose the labradorite, special message for labradorite. Okay, open my eyes, and this one was sticking out the most, catching, oh my goodness. Solar eclipse. We're approaching a full moon lunar eclipse. But 2 weeks after that, as we get towards around December 13th, we'll have a new moon solar eclipse. So I feel like this is a special message for you, saying that there's something significant about these eclipses that you need to pay attention to. Now, since the full moon lunar eclipse is at 8 degrees of Gemini, that means that the new moon solar eclipse around December 13th or 14th is where I think that happens, is going to be at, let's see, it'll be at 14, about 22 or 23 degrees of Sagittarius. Okay, so if you know your chart well enough to know where 22 or 23 degrees of Sagittarius lies, there's something about the solar eclipse, new beginnings, initiations, revolution, kind of being a rebel, taking charge, making a lot of changes in your life is going to be indicated. Okay, there's something very significant. And of course, eclipses just intensify the full moon and the new moon's energies. So the completion phase of the full moon, more intensified. The new beginning stages of the new moon, more intensified and longer lasting as well. The eclipse energies last a longer time, for weeks and sometimes even months until the next set of eclipses. So whatever's going on in your life during these next 2 to 3 weeks is a very, very important time period. So pay attention to the endings and the new beginnings. All right. And then for those of you that chose the Sonora Sunrise Sunset Chrysocolla, Sonora Sunrise Sunset Chrysocolla, special message for you. This one's sticking up. And this one is Saturn. Isn't it interesting that we had Saturn show up in the very first card for everybody? And now this is your special message card as well, bringing us back around to karmic debts or karmic past lives or karmic, patterns that you have within you. But here it says truth. Saturn is about responsibility and reality, third dimensional reality, which in a sense you could say is truth, right? It's like what we see is our truth. Saturn brings things into perspective. Saturn brings things into manifestation. You know, Saturn isn't all bad. We do think of, you know, past life karma and the Lord of Karma and restriction and limitation when it comes to Saturn. But Saturn's good side is about taking responsibility, bringing things into manifestation, being like persistent and working towards our goals, etc. And again, this card to me seems like a happy, positive card. Saturn and the truth. So we see Kronos here in the background, if you can make that out, amongst all the beautiful colors actually. So I feel like this is you taking responsibility for certain past life and this life patterns, if you will. And as you take responsibility to make the changes that you know are needed in your life, or the changes that you know are needed within your own psyche and sense of beingness, then your truth starts to come out. Your truth starts to shine. Your truth starts to kind of be able to be creatively exuded out there into the world. So again, it makes me feel like you're on the way to manifesting something good. And with Saturn and manifestation, it's something that's long lasting. Saturn takes its time, so there's a timing mechanism with Saturn, but once you know what your truth is and you work towards that truth and you take responsibility and take the steps that are needed patiently, diligently, then whatever you're going to build, whatever you're going to manifest for yourself with Saturn is going to be something that lasts for a very long time. It's going to be something that lasts for a very long time, which is good, right? So if you're creating a new career path for yourself that you're passionate about, it's going to be something that's long lasting. If you're creating financial security for yourself and you're taking the steps needed and you're, you know, taking responsibility to make changes in your life that you know are appropriate, then the financial security is going to be something that brings you many years of security. So this, to me, is a positive card, and all you need to do is tap into your truth, your real spiritual truth. All right, everyone. So I hope you've liked this weekly intuitive reading. I can't wait to see what next week holds with the full moon lunar eclipse starting out our week. Sending you all lots of love and light and lots of thank yous for your support and your love and your comments. Please share, please subscribe, please comment, and we'll see you next week for another reading. Love and light, everyone.